Welcome back, guys, to the MLG stream of DreamHack Bucharest. We're in next match is Jaedong versus Crank. Getting the invites right now. Of course, this match is going to be the last match of the day. We're stopping at the end of Group Stage 3, which is actually this is like one of the very last matches of Group Stage 3. So DreamHack's winding down for the day. See if I can get my co-cast. Are you still there, Matt?
Yeah, I just joined on you.
Awesome, awesome. So, of course, I'm Axlav casting with Eon Shakino. Did I pronounce it right this time?
Yes, correct.
Oh,
Very good job.
I've done it wrong a couple times, so hopefully we're getting there. But Jaedong versus Crank, we're in the lobby now. First map is Belshire Vestige. Tell them that we're good to go. And this match is kind of important for a couple reasons. One of the biggest ones is if Crank loses this, I think he could still advance if 4G loses this to all. It could be weird 3-8 tie.
Maybe 1-2.
Yeah. There could be some weird tie situations here. So,
If Jaedong wins this, he's 3-1, right?
Or 3-0.
3-0,
Yeah.
definitely out of.
If Jaedong wins this, he's definitely out. Even if Jaedong loses this, he's still very likely to go through.
Yes.
Crank is like, if Crank wins this, he's very likely to go through. If he loses this, he's very likely to be out. But it's not 100% set in stone, but it's very, very important for Crank that he wins this. And actually, Jaedong as well, because if Jaedong loses, you could get stuck in a three-way tie.
Yeah, then things get a little dirty.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I need to do the math on the map scores and everything, but also there's a couple. I think there's a Sorol match that has to be played out as well. So basically, both guys want to win. I mean, this is their both of their last game in this group, and it's gonna. I mean, and it's gonna make or break whether or not they get out, pretty much. So here at the top left, we have the blue Zerg, e.g. Jaedong.
And the bottom right side of the map, the red Protoss player, it's going to be Axiom's Crank.
With the pylon in base and scouting after pylon, so it wants to get there to stop any hatchery going down, making little pentagram. Uh-oh.
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 Well, Who will win the fight there? The drone is going there. The probe is making its way. He's got to mine those minerals.
Oh,
perfect timing there with that probe.
Yeah, gotten there like 1 second later, hatchery would have started, and Jaedong would be a happy person. Unfortunately, this is one reason why in the past Zergs rarely went hatch first, solely because of this.
Yeah.
And you know, I would want to say put a pylon there because, yes, with the gateway expand, it's hard to fit that pylon in the build without slowing other things down. But because Jaedong was planning to do hatchery first, his spawning pool was substantially delayed over normal 14-15 pool, right? Because he was saving 300 minerals, and then he got the spawning pool once he realized he couldn't get the hatchery. And in that situation, if you put a pylon, they pretty much have to wait until Zerglings to bust it. I guess he would just take a hatchery somewhere else probably, but it can be very annoying if you just continually block that.
Yeah, he blocked it long enough to force Jaedong to make the spawning pool, which I think is, the best.
That's a win already, yeah.
Yeah, it's a win already, and you don't have to use the spawning pool in that point. The hatchery's delayed even just a little bit more because you have to mine that extra little bit of minerals to make it again. So I think that's one of the best uses of a probe and the best cost-efficient blocks for using that probe scout.
We do see a chrono boost on the cyber core. I guess actually that's. A lot of times people will chrono boost their probes first, then do it, but he doesn't want to chrono boost probes because he'll be supply block because he wants to build a nexus, not a pylon, so that makes sense. And I assume he's going to probably, because other option would be to save the energy on a nexus, but he must want to do some 3-gate pressure. Probably, he's going to add 2 gateways at the front, and so 1 or 2 chrono boosts on the warp gate so it finishes with his additional gateways at the front at the same time is not a bad idea.
Yeah, 3-gate pressure does really well versus a fast third base from a Zerg player. And we'll see if Jaedong is going to take that fast third base. He's just pulled off some guys off gas, so he got his first 100 gas, and actually pulled all the guys off gas. He's starting to get speed, and now the drones are continuing to be produced, and he's going to macro away.
There's the additional gateways from Crank, adding in a sentry as well. Still on 1 gas, so we are going to see some pressure. Is his warp gate timed out great? He's got about 40 seconds left on that, and the gateways are coming up in about 40 as well. So very well timed out with the warp gate research and the gateways finishing at the same time. And here comes that probe. We could definitely see some pressure looking tonight third base. Oh, but the Zerglings found the probe.
It. Oh man, there's no proxy pylon down just yet, so he's gonna see. Oh wow, the Zealot takes. Oh, he just completely lost the location of that probe. The pylon will get down, and the third base is going up for Jaedong. So Jaedong, is he gonna go for a cancel here? Or you think he's just gonna try and mass Zerglings and defend this straight up?
I mean, mass Zerglings can do it, but Crank is still gonna be happy, even if he doesn't get the third. If he can force out enough Zerglings, it'll be economic damage done in denying drones. Oh, but wait, he actually. Jaedong's and then he's starting to make more drones, so
he's not taking this threat like as well as I think Crank is letting on here. I mean, he's making more Zealots and a Stargate behind this, but he's sending all these Zerglings to try and find the pylon, but he lost the location that. So okay, wait, he scouted it now, but I mean he lost the place of where it could have been whenever all those Zerglings started to attack that Zealot earlier.
Yeah, and now more and more Zealots are continually being warped in, and there comes a certain point where it's going to be very hard to defend with just pure speedlings. He's going to launch a counterattack to try to force some warp-ins at home, but there's already a Zealot in the Sentry. That should be more than enough to defend this with the Great Wall. He does spot the Stargate, too, so that's kind of nice for him. And being annoying here at the wall. Meanwhile, Crank is assembling his Zealot force. He's moving into the third base. Jaedong, okay, he's got some queens there, or 8 queen there. He's got a good number of speedlings, and a lot more speedlings on the way, but this means they're not drones, so he's still stuck at 33 drones.
Yeah, he's making 22 more Zerglings right now, so that's going to put him up to 42 Zerglings. And at this point, Crank can just fall back and kind of just sit around this pylon, and as long as he can defend his main, there's not much Jaedong is going to be able to do here other than just secure this third base for a little bit longer.
The Phoenixes are out starting to kill over. Look at 8 roaches now. Jaedong is actually, he wants to take the fight to Crank. There's no reason to make this many units asserted for defense, but he spotted a Stargate. He spotted the Phoenixes. He's like, wait a minute, if he's getting Phoenixes, maybe I can just kill him. And that's the plan. He's losing a lot here at the front. Meanwhile, Crank's launching his attack. The pylon's going to get taken down by speedlings. Roaches should defend his hatchery, but maybe Crank can focus it down. I think he's going to recall out of there, I would expect. Yep, there goes the recall. Great use of that recall. And he spotted all the units Jaedong made, and yeah, I don't think that attack could work for Jaedong, so he's going back and droning now, but he's definitely not at the level he want to be.
And try to do some damage here. After scouting out that Stargate, knowing that his opponent was going Phoenixes, I think it's a smart move to make those Zerglings or Roaches, because in one hand you can defend your third base, and on top of that you can attack if you feel you can deal some damage, because Phoenixes won't do too much versus that many Roaches and that many Zerglings. And Crank used a lot of force fields earlier defending off those Zerglings, and now there's a lot of Zerglings coming out here and a lot of Roaches falling up, and this can do a lot of damage to Crank unless he can pull off some amazing force fields here.
Yeah, his army is very good against the Zerglings, the Zealot Sentry combination, but if the Roaches can create a hole in the wall or just add that extra damage to take down the Zealots, this could be bad for Crank. He does have the Photon Overcharge, that's going to help him quite a bit. Continuing to re-wall in as the buildings are being picked off, that's just going to force Jaedong back, but like you said, he was able to scare Crank a bit, and behind us he's trying to catch back up in economy, or not. I mean, he's still probably, actually he's only 51 drones, so even worker count. Which Jaedong doesn't really want, but he can definitely start, more and more drones are being built, so he's going to get that worker lead fairly soon.
So now the Nexus Photon Cannon, or the Photon Cannon is built there for Crank, and the Nexus's Super Cannon, I forgot what it's called, is still, did he recast that?
No, it's probably about to go away to Photon Overcharge. There it goes. Now it's just a cannon, but there is an Immortal out now. There's still all the Sentries and Zealots. Jaedong's obviously not going to break the natural, but if you can kill a gateway here, a gateway there, maybe a pylon, pick off a Zealot, that's all nice damage that'll help slow down any future progression of Crank's forces.
Yeah, trading like 1 or 2 Roaches for a gateway there, that's a pretty good trade considering, he made those Roaches anyways, so.
Might as well get some value for them. We do see the Militia Court scouting around, seeing how much is being committed now. Crank has got to be suspicious about what's going on. No more units have been popping up for Jaedong, beyond that initial road surging force. He's been keeping an eye on him with the Phoenixes, and so he's been able to make sure there's no fast hive tech. In fact, it's just pure Roach Hydra play. And that's going to put Crank in a position where, against Roach Hydra, you just take a third, and you make sure not to die. So it's going to be all down to his defense. But if he can survive to the later stages of the game, Roach Hydra starts to lose some of its power, basically.
Yeah, so this is going to put Crank on 8 gateways. He's got some Immortals out, and he's got a third base going up. So I guess he's just going to sit here and defend this third base until he gets that Sim City up and going there.
Here's some speedlings. They're looking to deny the third. Of course, Crank is careful to defend the natural as well, but the third is a little exposed. There could be a cancel on that. Here come the speedlings. Meanwhile, Phoenix is continuing to be annoying, grabbing himself several kills each. There's a Hydralisk. Got to pull the Phoenixes back. The Nexus is so vulnerable. With force fields, he may be able to save it. Is he going to try?
Oh, that's going down.
Yeah.
Does he get the cancel, though? Oh, good. He at least gets the cancel, so not a complete loss there. Force fields. Uh-oh, he may actually clean up the rest of these Zerglings, so it's not going to be too terrible.
Yeah, if you can get all these kills, at least that's some redeeming factor. Nice force field there and a warp into Stalkers to close it out. Those Zerglings paid with their life for that. It still may have been worth it, though. Those Zerglings kind of will lose their effectiveness with the Roach Hydra. Doesn't combine super well.
And Crank isn't even going to rebuild his third here. He's just going to go for it. He's got more than enough gateways to go. Wait, is he going to... Yeah, I think he's just going to go for an attack now. He's got his 8 gateways. +2 is just now done. Blink is done. And Crank is going to push out across the map. He's looking to do a 2-base attack here, not looking to make a third base. And he's going to look to end Jaedong here with a relatively small army supply. Actually, it was. He's still in the lead, 97 versus 93 after making all those Roaches, Hydras, and Zerglings.
Yeah, Jaedong does have a little bit of army supply advantage, but the quality of Crank's forces is much higher. If you look at the army value, Crank is right now a little over 8,000, close to 9,000 in army value, and Jaedong is more like, 7,000. So not only did this Crank have a larger army in value, but he also has, he's got force fields, right? So
yeah, and he's got the +2 upgrade advantage over the just +1 range upgrade of Jaedong.
Now, we do have a really cool flank here coming in from Jaedong. Some nice stuff here, but the force field is just too good. It's not really able to do too much damage. And, even with the great service area, it's Roaches against Stalkers. That's an even fight, except for the fact there's Time Orbs, force fields, and Guardian Shields thrown in there. It's going to give the Protoss the advantage, and Jaedong's in real trouble.
Yeah, this is looking so bad. This third base is going to fall. Jaedong is trying to make some more workers. That upgrade isn't even close to getting done yet. But this one, he's Stalkers and Blink. I think Jaedong's about cooked here.
Units are rallying in by piecemeal. There it goes. Crank takes game number 1, and he's already shown a 2-0 innovation in a previous group stage. Now taking that game from Jaedong, Crank is looking like this could be his tournament.
Yeah, whenever Jaedong went in with all those Zerglings to take out that third, that was the moment where Crank was like, well, wait a second here. I just killed a lot of Zerglings. My base got canceled. That was close to being done. And I already have enough production. I've got good upgrades. Why not go for it now? And that decision Jaedong made turned out to be his downfall that game, I think.
Absolutely. Can try to get you in the game.
Okay, I'll join up.
Yeah, you join up me. Game 2 is going to be a whirlwind. We'll be right up with that after a short break.